Hey yo, this is another video. Okay. All right. So, walking on the old dusty trail. All right now. Village life. All right. So, I'm on this trail. I'm gonna get off the little trail. There's no point, it don't really matter either or. But I can get on the grass or the trail. You're like, where is he at? Well, if you clicked on the video or hit the thumbnail, you was like, okay, he must be there. So I'm at the Caddo Mounds in Alto, Texas. It's like not too far off of the border of Louisiana and Texas. So it was like 30 minutes or 40 minutes away from Nacogdoches, Texas. So right here, as you can see across the street, it's closed off. Right in this exact spot. I'm gonna show you on the map too. Also, if I get this, that's the High Temple Mound right there, but it's closed off. So like that's across the street, and that's like, when I drove up, I saw it. I said, I know that's a mound right there. It looks just like this mound I went to in Georgia. It's built almost exactly the same. It's slender. And it's like long. It's long, but it's slender. The mound is. So I've been on a mound that looks similar to that one, but you can't even get to that one. They put a fence around that one. I guess whoever lives across the street decided to own that whole land. They got that for their own. So the people that have this actual area, the Caddo Mounds here, they actually don't have access to that area. So right here, I'm walking this trail, but I'm gonna chop it up a little bit. I'm not gonna keep it all the same. So as you can see, try to zoom in so you can see it. Right here, and that's the which one is it? The High Temple Mound right there. But there's 3 total. There's 2 I can access or get to here. So what I'm gonna do is show you from where I will be at from the High Temple Mound. Let's see, I'm gonna show you the ceremonial mound, which is right there. They do the ceremonies at. That's the mound right there. Goes up and down right there. And the burial mound, as you can see, that's a little bit more steeper, a lot more steeper. So what we're gonna do is I'm more than likely gonna pause this up, and when I get up on it, oh, you know what? Nah, cause I got things I gotta do out here. So I'm just showing you. You can see it. I'm gonna walk up, and when I walk up to certain areas or certain distances to it, I'll show you. But I'm gonna be. I'm not out here just to be sightseeing or whatever. I got things to do out here. So every time I go to a mound, it's things I do. I don't put on camera. So you know what I'm saying. So you get to see what it looks like out here. If you want, you can come out here. So it's in Alto, Texas, like soprano, alto, and tenor, like like that. So alto. Yeah. So as you can see, it's a very wooded area. You're gonna have a lot of trucks that deliver things out here on your way out here. So it's not like you're gonna have it's not in the city. As you can see, it's very wooded and small town based. So as you can see from the distance, this is how it will look. Yeah, as you can see the line right there, or they say it in the city, the skyline. You can see how high it actually gets to. These actual plains of mountains right here. Okay, and that's going, if I'm not mistaken, going more east that way. All right. Okay, right here. So as you can see, as I told you, the High Temple Mound right here. It's right here. It says actually, it was originally 3 times the current length and reached 35 feet tall. It was the spiritual and political center of the village with buildings for worship or government. Archaeological evidence suggests that periodically the buildings on top of the temple mound were ceremonially destroyed by fire and then rebuilt on a layer of fresh dirt brought to cover the charred remains. So the ceremonial rebirth through fire. Or you can pretty much say like as in the Kundalini. So the Kundalini is a fire snake. The fire snake is actually which is surrounding your spine. If you ever see the caduceus or you go to the hospital, you see that symbol where you have the two snakes and the staff and its wings at the top. Same principle. So so you can see this ceremonial rebirth through fire. So they say death, or doth death, to die to live again. So they would have tobacco pipe, a drum, and seeds for planting. All right. Okay. All of these items appear in the ceremonial life of the Caddo, with fire featuring prominently, along with the ceremonial burning of structures. At least one village structure may have housed a perpetual fire tended by the Zenesi or priest. A feature also common to latter Caddo groups. And they also had a maze too also, as you can see. Okay, as you can see, it's a dip inside the grass. This is called the burrow pit. Right here. This is the actual burrow pit going across right here. And actually a creek actually behind here. It's called Bowles Creek. So this is a burrow pit right here at this very exact spot. Oh yeah. Also, I received some information when I got here. 2 years ago, yesterday. Today is what today is the 14th, but yesterday on the 13th, 2 years ago, it was a tornado that hit this actual site. Now, if I recollect right, you know what I'm saying, I might be getting a little old and getting up in age or whatever. I might be getting a little up in age now. Now, I know there's power. I mean, like when certain things come to you, you remember certain things. So it's just the answer is showing you your power, what you can access by doing certain things, right? So 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, the first time I was ever up at the I was over at Poverty Point, but I got Poverty Point is a good maybe 150 miles away from this site, maybe 200 miles, 150, maybe 200 miles from this site, right? So I'm gonna keep walking. So this is actually the ceremonial mound. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show it to you and do whatever I do later on. Okay, I'm gonna show everything to you, and then I'm gonna do it later on. So what I'm gonna do is tell you what happened. So 2 years ago, at this very site. So as you can see, like, if you have in school, growing up, you can go in elementary school, middle school, or high school, whatever. You have temporary buildings, right? So that's a temporary building right there. So it was a tornado that came through here 2 years ago and hit this area. 2 years ago, yesterday. She said, yeah, yesterday, 2 years ago, around this time, yesterday, 2 years ago, a tornado hit this spot, and they're actually doing construction. As you can see, they're doing construction right in this actual area where the actual building actually was at one point. So I was over I actually went past Poverty Point and kept going because I had something else to do in the area. I'm not going to disclose that on his camera. I had some things to do. So I was maybe not too far from here, and it was actually a hurricane I was actually I looked up at the map and I was in the center of the hurricane where I stopped at, and I turned around and went back. And he said, I remember the next day I went to Property Point. The guy was like, yeah, you should have been here yesterday. It was a hurricane that hit over here. And I was like, oh, really? And so when he left, a tree actually fell. As soon as he left, a tree fell. A tree fell. I was like, I didn't tell him. I was like, I was actually here. So I was like, the actual hurricane I was in the center of might have dispersed like some type of wind or a tornado or something. Because as you can see, it looks pretty bad. Like, it's been looking like this since, it's been looking like this since yesterday. I was here in this area yesterday, in this area. You know, and that would be like, what, 2 years exactly. I would be damn near like was in like 100-mile radius of this area. So, and I wasn't even thinking about, I didn't even realize it like that until the lady brought it to you. But the ancestors to make things prevalent or make things known so you can access or make sense of things and know your true potential or true power. So these are my ancestors actual area, and you know, they have to be the custodians, just like with our information or books or anything like that. They have to be the custodians of all these things. So we have to get the information back. And they say in this book I've gotten, I don't have it, I have it with me, but just not in my hand right now. It's called Native American Prophecies. If you can get your hands, I can't remember the publisher, and I can't remember the author's name. But you know, it's kind of a book. You gotta read it with a mind of not getting upset because they're trying to hide certain things. You just gotta decode certain things, and it's very simple. If you look at that book and some of the wording, it's very simple. But anyway, I'm gonna get back to showing you things. But what I was trying to get to is tell you is that these are our things. And they tell you in that book, they say in a certain chapter, can't remember what chapter, it may have been the 3rd or 4th chapter, they say to go back to these mounds. But they're talking to people that don't look like, you know, melanated so-called black people, highly melanated so-called black people, so-called African-American people. Because we're the mixing bowl of America, in America, the highest form of melanin. We do the best or do different things that other people can't do. That's why they have us be managers and all these different things, and they can be the owners of these companies, and we'll run it to the best of our ability. But really, we're just actually doing something for somebody else. So sometimes we should really just go out on the limb and do things that we need to do spiritually or access for us on our ancestors, because we are our ancestors. So said all that to say this. In that book, they said you should go back to these spots or these places, these mounds, and do whatever you need to do ritually, and do certain things, access these areas. And no matter if you do have to pay, and it sucks, you got to pay, but in order for these places to keep up, these areas cut the grass, as you can see, cut grass or whatever, or keep it up before you can get back to them, you're gonna have to pay for it. It sucks, but that's the truth. So at first, I didn't want to go to museums that had our ancestors' stuff there. I'm not paying to go back for something that's ours, but why wouldn't you go to something that belongs to you when it's yours, and the energy is actually driven towards you? When I got here, it was birds flying all over me, like all over the place, right above me. So that means the ancestors that were here before that died, they came right to me. As soon as I parked, they were just flying over my car, right over my car, just kept flying over me. I knew what it was, because birds, they see spirit, they are highly, they go higher. So spiritually, they're higher than us. So any ancestors that actually died in this area, because, you know, as you know, this is the burial mound right here. That's a ceremonial mound right there. So burial spirits, or when the ancestors or their souls, they've been buried out here, they're actually happy to see you or feel you out here. Like when we say, man, I feel you. I feel what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? So same shit. So like I knew what it was when I first saw it. They was just flocking all over the car, all over the place. I'm like, man, that's amazing. So I was excited just to get out here. But when I seen that just made me more amped to get here, like to do what I need to do. So let me keep it going. But yeah, so pretty much it's saying in that book to go back to these places. Go back to these places. Go back to these places and do what you need to do. You come up with your own thing, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not here to tell you what to do. Whatever comes out is what you're supposed to have been doing in the first place. And whatever you're doing, it'll be highly recommended, because in your mind that you came up with it, your ancestors live inside you, and you are a new representation of your ancestors physically. We just in these physical bodies. That's it. Just a shell. Your soul is inside of a shell. But as you know, in all of my other videos, everybody doesn't have a soul. Everybody has a spirit. Bugs, roaches, all kind of shit. Birds, animals have spirits, but not everybody has a soul. Okay. So everybody doesn't have a soul. And we'll say in Spanish, soul is S-O-L, which means sun. So a sun is a star is a sun. I mean, a sun is a star. It's just a large star. Okay. So, but the sun behind the sun is a star Sirius. That means the sun that's out is what? The illusion, part of the illusion. So if it's the sun behind the sun, that's the light that's giving off in the illusion. So in the dark, when you see the star Sirius, which is in what? Next to Orion's belt and star Draconis, it actually forms a dragon. So in the darkness, but in the light, in the daytime, you see the large sun. But as you can see, last few days I haven't seen the sun, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So, but yeah, I'm gonna get you to this mound here. Now I'm gonna cut it short. All right. So as you can see, this is what's on the outskirts of the actual the mound area. There's actually a gate right there too. Also, let me show you on the map. So you see, let me zoom out. All right. So it'll be El Camino Real Interpretive Trail. That's actually that's a historical marker that it cuts off right there. So right now, that's the burial mound right there, and I'm gonna show you, if I can, what's behind it. Okay, this is the burial mound right here. Okay, the burial mound was built 20 feet tall and 90 feet in diameter when the village was abandoned. Abandoned my ass. Actually, I'm gonna go give you a little background. Davy Crockett, is a Davy Crockett. What do you call it? The little area. They have a whole Davy Crockett like forest around here. It's like a national park. So like the whole thing with Davy Crockett and all of them. Remember, this is like Northeast Texas. So if that's the case, it wasn't abandoned. These people were tricked, tricked and wiped out. But I've come to realize certain things about the Olmecs in Mexico. They actually left. So remember, if the calendar ended in 2012 and the Aztec people are still there, why can't they build on the calendar that was in 2012? Because they didn't make it. It was the Olmec people. We actually left and went north, knowing that something like that would happen. We're getting a little rain out here. It's okay. I'm gonna do what I have to do regardless. Okay. A series of archaeological excavations beginning in 1939 determined that it was built in successive stages over a period of about 700 years, ending around 1300 AD. It contained around 90 bodies, physical bodies, and about 30 burial pits. Burial here was reserved for community leaders, and evidence suggests that family members or servants may have been sacrificed and interred along with them. People brought food, water, fire, and tobacco to the grave for several days after the burial to help the deceased arrive safely to the other house. It means of the other side, because this is a physical house, a physical body you're in. So the other house would be a spiritual house, or afterlife. Read on, you see the same shit I just. Refined objects found in burials included stone and copper ornaments, along with fine, locally made ceramic vessels. But remember, these vessels, you are a vessel. So this pottery is like a representation of what you are. So they brought tobacco, tobacco, water, fire, and food. It's almost like it helps you along the way. So the pottery is the old body you was in. The tobacco is like so you can smoke too also. The water and the food is like just helps you along your way on your journey on the other, like they say, in the other house or the afterlife. All right. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end the video right here. If there is a way you can go into the trail, but I'm gonna get into what I need to get to, because I'm not here to be a what do you call those, onlooker or spectator, or oh I'm just observing things. No, I'm I'm here to do what I need to do spiritually. All right. So I'm gonna cut it short. Peace.